Please be seated. How are you? So.
I'm trying to set the that's what he wants to do first. That's fine. And then I'll let her come to the top. I was asking for 12-1 instead of, it wasn't much more than that, but the main thing is it was change the count 1 from second degree to third degree. It was just, I mean, some of this there was some sort of a misunderstanding of his intent. But anyway, he's fine to bleed it out. If it comes under 12, he was suggesting. It's Francis.
That would be under what he scores. He scores 12.6.
Well, what?
12.6.
Yeah, it would be slightly under. I mean, you want to do the count 12.6, but I just am asking if he can not do it as a second.
No, I want to say it's charged, and yeah.
You'll do a guidelines of 12.6 cap, but as charged. All right. He'll probably hear it today, and then he doesn't have to come back Monday, and we'll just set it for
That's my dog with the little pink crown on. How do you think that would go? Well, if I use the state website, yes, probably. Shot of it. Right now, my sister's so we tried them a day ago, and then it just didn't want to pull up right. You could hear her.
We're gonna do the females first. And we'll start, Ms. Farkas, we'll start with Mary Darwin. Then we'll just go through the list in order. This is what they are.
Sorry, Your Honor. Let me get my pen. Sorry. Too many pens. Okay. Hi, Your Honor. Sorry. Rachel Farkas of the Public Defender's Office on behalf of Ms. Darwin. I've spoken briefly with the state attorney about this case, but I would like to request a continuance so I can meet with Ms. Darwin and review the discovery and continue discussing it with the state attorney.
Your Honor, there's no objection to that.
I'm sorry?
There's no objection to that.
Okay, hold on a second here. I'm still trying to get organized. Okay, so we're going to continue to 4:10.
Yes, Your Honor, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next we're going to do the other two females, Alderman Ford and then Allen.
There's Steve Medina with Carly Ray, Alderman Ford, docket number 110. She's before the court in 22 CF 2665, 22 CF 2927, and 23 CF 2176. Your Honor, we have a motion hearing set for tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're trying to work something out with the state that might be involving bond, which is one of those motions for tomorrow. So if we can continue her cases to 9 a.m. tomorrow for that motion hearing. It's at 9 a.m., but they're short motions, Your Honor, and they may be subject of a stipulation.
So we'll still continue this to the next cycle, but we'll be tomorrow just so we have that set.
Yes, Your Honor.
Depending on what we do tomorrow.
Okay.
So we'll continue this one till 4:10, but tomorrow we've got those hearings that we'll hear.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And then the last female is Lorena Allen. This is the next case, Mr. Medina.
There's no motion filed.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Good. Yes. Oh. Your Honor, Steve Medina, docket number 111, Lorena Gail Allen before the court at 23 CF 2478. I'm asking for a continuance to the next pretrial. We're waiting on a Phoenix House evaluation. She also advises me that she's doing the EC,
program.
the good program that the jail has that's helping so many inmates, and she's interested in that, what options might be available with that too. So hopefully we can work something out by next cycle, Your Honor.
Very good. We'll continue this matter till 4:10, 9 a.m.
And Your Honor, I failed to note she has two cases, 23 CF 2478, and the other one that I didn't mention was 23 CF 2010.
This is the same.
Thank you.
Continue to 4:10.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's one other female on your list, Mr. Medina, Selena Boyd.
Yes, and
They're bringing her up.
I have to send an agreement back for her.
Okay.
We made some revisions at her request between, so can we send her back, and I'm sending paperwork back to her? I haven't had a chance to pull it out.
Okay. So you can.
We'll bring her out later and we make it a resolution.
That'd be fine.
Thank you.
So we're going to start at the top on this one. We'll start with Ms. Farkas's Israel Chartrand. It's number 63 on your list.
Yes, sir.
And we'll just go right down this list.
And the
This
Spanish
coincides.
The Spanish speaking one?
Later. Let's do the Spanish speaking one.
We could do that.
Is the interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor, and that will
There,
allow.
you're hiding this.
Yes.
Let's do, you're just waiting for one.
That'd be great, Your Honor.
Mr. Medina, this is Durazo Vasquez.
That's correct, Your Honor.
You feel announce the cases?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm just trying to find it in the docket. It's docket number 136, Gerson Eli Arazo Vasquez. He's before the court. He's represented by the public defender on that docket number at 23 CF 280 and 23 CF 503. The court granted a stipulated severance, and there are two new case numbers that need to have the public defender appointed, where the state filed direct no capious informations. May I state those numbers? I'm not sure where they are on the docket, but we need PD appointed on them. It's 24 CF 253 and 24 CF 254. It's possible, I didn't check to see where they are on the,
Let's see.
they may not be on the docket, they may just be for felony arraignment or something.
They might be. We can deal with that.
Yes.
I suspect that's what.
They're currently set for March 14th for plea day.
Your Honor, we have the information, we can waive arraignment and plead not guilty in 24 CF 253 and 24 CF 254.
The court will enter not guilty pleas on behalf on those two new cases, and all four of those cases will continue to the next cycle, which is April 10th at 9 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor, we are, just for the court's information, I have depositions set that are going to be the bulk of the depositions. We're having trouble finding maybe like 3 witnesses, but
Sure.
alleged victims, and that's been the subject of an order that's been reached by the court with the stipulation and so forth with the state. So what's
Mr. Medina, you're doing a great job. You're talking very fast. You're wearing out our interpreter. Slow down so she can interpret.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor. Usually it's that I'm saying too much and not too fast, so I'm probably doing both.
That's true. Usually you're extremely deliberate.
So anyway, we're doing depositions. We hope to get most of them done by next cycle. And the only other thing is I've discussed with the Assistant State Attorney Basso, I'm giving my client a copy of the 2 informations that in these 2 new cases, as well as the English translation of the non-sensitive, non-confidential discovery that's been received already. He requested them in English, even though we've already interpreted for him at the jail in Spanish. Okay, all right. So
Thank you.
That is all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate your help.
Yes, sir.
apologize.
No.
Speak slowly. Fast as possible.
I think you.
Okay, now we'll start with Chartrand. Chartrand. Park.
Yes, Your Honor. This is Israel Chartrand. I have three dockets with him, three cases, I'm sorry. 2022-2721, 2022-3012, and 2023-2618. I have met with Mr. Chartrand at the jail, and I've also spoken with the state attorney on this case. I believe that they are still attempting to make contact with the alleged victim in the new law case, the 2023 case, which would inform the outcome on the VOPs. So I think we're in agreement for a continuance.
Yes, Your Honor, the state has made multiple attempts to get in contact with the victim. We are now having an investigator acquire a new phone number or contact number for her. So before we go ahead and set the evidentiary, we'd like to speak with her first.
Very good. Court will continue this matter until 4:10 at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We will get some results out of it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Craig Chenault.
He's one of my clients, Your Honor. When I find him on the docket.
Number 73 on the docket.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I am going to try and find on the docket with the case number. I apologize.
All right, it's 23 CF 1687.
Thank you, Your Honor. I met with Mr. Chenault yesterday, and I understand, I heard from someone there may be a new case with him, failure to register. I don't have any information as to whether that was indeed.
I don't have the registers anymore, so I'm sorry. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll try to look it up.
Okay, anyway, I met with him, Your Honor. We'll find that out if there is anything. Basically, there may be some loose ends to the current information that I don't need to belabor, but if we could continue this case to next cycle, I have some significant information that he's given me permission to discuss with Ms. Basso, so we're hoping to make progress.
Would counsel approach real quick?
Yes.
This is Tiffany Woodham, State Farm's newest agent in Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestviewagent.com.
Alex Barthay from the UPS store once again, and I wanted to let you know about our Sunday hours. We're open now 7 days a week. Normal hours that you've been expecting, but now we're open Saturday 10 to 4, Sunday 10 to 3, and that's both our Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, and Eglin Air Force Base locations. So you have things to do, go and do it. Just know the UPS store is going to be here. Again, Sundays 10 until 3 p.m.
And we may be able to make some progress by Monday, Your Honor.
Very good. So we'll continue this till docket day 219 for a plea.
Your sister was here. She left.
Next case is Christopher Coker.
Your Honor, this is Christopher Coker, docket 2021 CF 1428. I've met with Mr. Coker at the jail and spoken with ASA Sharpless, and I believe that we will have a resolution on docket day if we could continue it to the 19th.
We'll continue till docket day 219 for a plea.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next is Keandre Daniels.
Your Honor, Mr. Daniels isn't here. He is in federal.
Oh,
Yep. He's in.
He's in federal prison.
He is. Yes.
Okay. He's in federal prison.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. Where are we at on this case? Obviously, he's in federal prison, but where are we
Yes,
at?
he is.
What's
So I've
going on?
spoken with ASA Law School about this case, and it's my understanding that we're kind of in a holding pattern because the federal case
Are
is
they related?
the same.
Are they waiting for them? Is there?
The defendant who we spoke about earlier on the docket, who I spoke with at AUSA in December, this is the co-defendant of that case. So they were allegedly both working in unison to rob a postal worker. They drove across state lines, giving rise to.
Okay, so that's involved. So the federal, the reason why they're in federal is related. So that has to be resolved.
Correct.
More or less, we're anticipating that being resolved first. And so we'll just continue this to the next cycle.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Continue to 4:10. Okay. Next is Durham Deathridge. Would you announce the cases?
Yes, Your Honor. This is Narong Deathridge. I have two cases, 2022 CF 959 and 2023 CF 2154. I've spoken with Mr. Deathridge at the jail and with the state attorney as well. We received an updated offer a couple days ago. I just spoke with Mr. Deathridge about it earlier, but if we could just put it on for docket day, I think that we'll have a resolution.
Okay. Come back on 219 for plea. Okay. Thank you. Next is Lorenzo.
What was the last name, Your Honor?
Lorenzo.
Are you my new attorney?
Your Honor, excuse me, this is Kevin DiLorenzio, 2023 CF 1858 and 2023 CF 2393. We received some additional body cam footage in January that I haven't had a chance to review with my client yet. If we could have a continuance to the next cycle so we can discuss everything.
No objection, Your Honor.
It's a relatively new case. We'll continue until 4:10 at 9.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
So all done.
Hi, Your Honor. This is Talal Donaldson. There are two dockets, 2022 CF 1610 and 2024 CF 0041. I have spoken.
Hold on, that's not on our docket.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's all right, that's all right.
The 0041 is on tomorrow. I apologize.
It's on tomorrow for what, for a plea?
Yes, for arraignment, yes.
Yes.
Apologize. I just had them
That's all right,
together because
that's
it's the
all
same client.
We can deal with them now.
Okay.
So you want to enter a plea on the new case?
Yes, not guilty
Okay.
in the new case.
Or letter, what are we doing on the other case?
I would like to ask for a continuance. This case is back after a caveus had been issued. I'm discussing a possible resolution with the state attorney, but I think we need a full continuance, a full cycle if we could.
Very good. Based on, especially the new case, we'll continue until 4:10 at 9.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And the court will enter a not guilty plea on 24 CF 41. Madam Clerk, we can take it off of the docket for tomorrow. Thank you. Your Honor, double day. Yes, sir.
I think you were going to call Mr. Harsher's case early on this docket. Can we call that out of order?
Which case is that? Which one was that?
DeMarcus Smith, Your Honor.
Okay.
The issue we had.
We'll do that after this one, sorry. Thank you for reminding me.
Hi, Your Honor. This is Edgar Doubleday, 2023 CF 2672. My assistant has been discussing, apparently Mr. Doubleday hired Mr. Arrowwood in his other case, and he might be retaining Mr. Arrowwood in this one. You are? There you go. Okay, so he will eventually be retaining, so I think just
So what I'm
a
going to do is
cycle.
I'm going to go ahead and continue this until the next cycle. In the interim, you can get a substitution of counsel and they'll take the case from there, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What date is that?
April 10th, be a Monday. Counsel, you on? We're going to.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the defendant's name again?
DeMarcus Smith. DeMarcus John Quez Smith. And case number is 23 CF 1162. And I believe, as the state said earlier this morning, Your Honor, we were going to leave this set for docket day on Monday.
State?
That's correct, Judge. I did file an amended discovery in this case listing 3 officers. I've spoken with defense counsel. They're just going to review that to make sure we're still good to go, but my understanding is their initial inclination is that's not going to cause a delay. So we are good to set this for docket day.
And what are we anticipating on docket?
Plea trial is my understanding.
Okay. Plea or trial? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Okay, we'll come back on 2/19, which is Monday, 9 a.m. Without subpoenas. Well, with subpoenas, actually.
Yes, Your
Thank
Honor.
you, Judge.
And I'll try to get the issue fixed with booking
Sure.
for the
I
name
appreciate it, yeah.
and make sure that he's transported in the morning.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, appreciate it. Sorry to keep you around.
It's all good, Your Honor. Thank
And
you.
Mr. Harsher, if you have a problem getting it fixed through booking, will you send me an email?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll send you in your system an email or a call or something.
Thank you.
We'll get it worked out. Thank you.
So
Thank you,
Clifford
Judge.
Dove.
Your Honor, this is Clifford Dove, docket 2023 CF 1255. This is the first time the case is on after a capias had been issued. So I have not yet reviewed the discovery or spoken to the state attorney. If we could have a continuance.
Court will continue this matter until April 10th, 9 a.m. Dunn Miller. Randall Dunn. Did you announce the case?
Yes, Your Honor. This is Randall Dunham Miller. There are 5 dockets on today: 2020 CF 2183, 2021 CF 289, 2021 CF 1537, 2022 CF 215, and 2022 CF 588. So there are a number of cases. Mr. Dunham Miller was represented by now Magistrate Reed in these cases. And the Public Defender's Office was assigned in November, late October, November of last year. In the 2020 VOP, we don't have any information. If there is any discovery or anything like that, we don't have anything. In the first 2021 case, we only have the FDLE report. In the second 2021 case, we have some video surveillance and body cam and the FDLE, but nothing else. And we have no discovery at all in either of the 2022 cases. I understand that it's partially on Mr. Reed's office, I believe, to send some of that to us. I've spoken with ASA Sharpless about this as well, but they have not provided us with any of the discovery either. So I understand the cases are very old, but
So, Your Honor, I did get,
First of all, that first issue, that makes no sense whatsoever, that you picked this case up 4 months ago, and it has, whatever discovery you've had from Reed, the prior defense counsel, hasn't been provided to you. I don't understand that. That's number one, but I don't even know if we need to address that.
yeah, well, Your Honor, we're addressing it. We've already spoken because I asked her, okay, what discovery did you get from Magistrate Reed, and what do you anticipate? Like what looks like you still need, and what do you have? So I will get her the discovery, Your Honor.
definitely not throwing ASA Sharpless under the bus, just sharing on the record why the cases are so old.
I do understand how old these cases are. It was with Mr. Reed for quite a while before a conflict arose because he now is a magistrate. And
That was November. So, I mean, we're now 3-4 months. I get that. It's a good excuse for one cycle. Not so much the second. Are you all proceeding as you normally do with the VOP?
Your Honor, the state, and when I spoke with Ms. Farkas, we are getting her to discovery.
I'm not anticipating, I'm just based upon what you all normally
We're going to proceed, Your Honor, with the 21 CF 289 case first, Your Honor, is where we're starting. We're gonna try one of the trafficking cases first, before the violation. It carries a minimum mandatory.
Okay.
Your Honor, the issue there, again, this is not the state attorney's.
No, that's all right. So what's the situation, if that's where you're going first with the trial, what is the discovery situation on that case? Because that's really what we're focusing on out of the gate.
Sorry if I may. We only have the FDLE. I personally, of course, only received the cases a couple weeks ago, but my office only has the lab report from FDLE. There were 12 officers listed as witnesses, you know, in our
Right.
case
Ms.
information. I don't have
You've been at it a
depositions.
lot longer than Ms. Farkas. Where are we at? She writes, we got basically all the witnesses have to have depositions. Is there any discovery?
Your Honor, it
you're
is
willing
my-
to be transferred?
it was my-
We can't both talk, Ms. Sharpless. Okay. I'll try not to override you. You try to.
Yes, sir. I apologize.
So, Ms. Farkas said that she didn't get a lot of information from Magistrate Reed. Is that part of that? What is it?
So generally, Your Honor, when a case goes from a private attorney to the public defender, the private attorney usually does send what information they have to the public defender's office or to RCC, and then I will follow up and go, what do you have, so that we can match what I have versus what you have, and I will send, or I'll just resend everything. I try not to overwhelm them with information they've already gotten, but I do follow up and make sure they have everything. So it was my understanding there were some depositions taken. I'm going to do my best to try to get transcripts so that we don't have to retake depositions that are already taken. And I am doing everything I can to make sure that one of these cases goes to trial next cycle. That was my intention.
Similarly, I'm not sure why we don't have that discovery from Magistrate Reed. I need to find out. I don't know why it hasn't been turned over to us. But
in any event, Your Honor, I know I have a list of what she has, and I will send the rest. So I will send it to her if she didn't get it from the.
Well, clearly we're not ready for trial.
No, Your Honor.
But barring exigent circumstances, I would hope we either go to trial or there be, we need to be bringing this in for a landing. Now, that's one case. You got 5 cases. We're just trying to get one of them off.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, for the record, though,
We'll continue all for 410. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just going to add that even if there were depositions done in the 289 case, they were potentially done 2 or even 3 years ago. So
All I want when we come to a pretrial is I want a status. And where I'm going back and forth is, I don't have a status because you all aren't clear about what you have and what you don't have, why you don't have it, and whether or not something was done. That's just my responsibility to keep things moving. Don't take it personal. You know, we're just trying to move these cases. Every case is different. Everybody has a right, the state has a right to get these cases moving. Defendant certainly does as well. And that's what we're trying to do. So don't
thank you, Your Honor.
So we'll be crystal clear next time. We'll have some clarity about
Yes, Your Honor.
either ready for trial or certainly very clear about what needs to be done if there's.
That's my
As you
intention.
said, you're going to make every effort to have one ready to tee it up, have
Yeah,
this one. And
and-
you know what it is, so
Yes.
we're not guessing which of the 5 cases were.
And that's why I had, Ms. Ferguson and I have already had a conversation so that I put her, you know, in the know that one of these cases needs to be tried next cycle, so we really need to get together about
Well,
what
you've
she
done that,
does.
you put it on the record, so we're good, we're clear on
So,
that. Okay. Very good, thank you very much.
Thank
So
you.
we'll continue everything till 4:10. Caleb
Thank you, Your Honor.
Easterling.
Hi, Your Honor.
This is case number 23 CF 2318.
Yes, Your Honor. This is Caleb Easterling. We received some additional discovery in late December. This case is fairly new. If we could have a continuance for one more cycle so I can discuss it with my client.
This is the first time a court will continue this till 4:10.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Even Arab.
What was the last name you want to search?
Arab.
Arab?
Arab.
Jay, are you?
No.
Your Honor, I
I don't have him. I've got him on here, but not on the list. Where do you?
So I don't think he's in custody.
He's not in custody, that's
He
why.
was in custody in Escambia on a VOP. I was able to see that he was released in late December, but I have not had contact with him.
Did he receive notice for today's hearing?
Your Honor, the last I looked, he did, there was a notice that was on file, and I believe he appeared in court at least once.
December 14th, he continued it.
And he was here?
in San Luis County Jail.
He was in the Senate.
December 18th, counsel appeared without him, and he continued it until today. So
He was not here, so did he receive some other type of written notice?
Was he in Santa Rosa County Jail?
Well, at the last hearing, he was in the Santa Rosa County Jail, but he was then after released. I don't think he got notice, or I'm questioning whether he got notice after he was released to be here today.
I don't have contact.
So we'll continue this till 4:10, and we need to get notice to him.
Yes, Your Honor.
So whatever his last address even is not there, I mean, he's got to get notice. But we will continue this until 4:10.
Thank you.
But I'm not issuing a KPS. That is why I was asking those questions.
Understandable, Your Honor.
Flippin. Joshua Flippin. Case number 23 CF 2412 and 23 CF 2414.
Yes, Your Honor, this is Joshua Flippin. I spoke briefly with the state attorney about these cases. This is the first time they're up. We received discovery, body-worn camera, pictures, surveillance video in December. If we could have a continuance so I can review it with my
This
client.
first time up, we'll continue to 4:10.
Thank you.
Sean Fryery.
Your Honor, this is Sean Fryery, 2021 CF 896 and 2023 CF 2696. I've spoken with the state attorney about these cases, and Mr. Fryery, of course. We had been looking at Keaton as an option in some sort of resolution. That is not an option, but Mr. Fryery is now applying for Phoenix House. I'm confident that we'll be able to reach a resolution if we could have a continuance for a cycle so that we can work that out.
Very good. Court will continue this matter until 4:10. And there's one case is actually is this just first time up. So we'll continue, hopefully for a resolution.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Kyron Watts.
Okay.
Case number 23 CF 2065.
Yes, Your Honor. This is Kyron Watts. This case was transferred to this division due to a conflict in late November. This is the first time up, I believe. Potentially second time up. Sorry, rereading my notes. If we could have a continuance, the state attorney and I discussed it so that we can acquaint ourselves with the case.
Yeah, and Your Honor, I thought this was a case where we do have depositions set. I believe. Yes, we do have depositions set in this case already, and they're set in March.
Okay, good. At least we're making some movement on it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Continue until April 10th. Thank you. I think that's all yours, Ms. Parker.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Mr. Gates,
Your Honor, I think that
you want to do yours?
We have, whoever we have, that's how I'll take it, Your Honor.
I was just going down the list. You were next up on the.
We don't have
I'm not
everybody.
the point done. But Selena Boyd, we had we wanted to recall. I think she's now ready to do her plea.
Sure.
So that would finish up with all the females, I think.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
In the boy, by the way.
That's 122.
Your Honor, Ms. Boyd is approaching, and I'm going to need to get signatures because we made some changes. Maybe it's just to make out of hand probation a copy. Hello, sir. Are you ready to sign? Your Honor, I'm not going to pressure her. She needs to think about this. I don't think the state would object if she wants to come back on docket day at 9 a.m. on the 19th. Would you hold it just so she can mull it over? 'Cause I don't want her pressured while she's at the podium.
The state has no objection, Your Honor. Monday will be clear trial.
Very good. We're continuing this till docket day for a 219 plea or trial.
Your Honor, Ms. Boyd is wanting me to continue to negotiate. The state has made very clear that this is its best offer. It's not going to, for instance, if she does 90 days more jail, get rid of probation and so forth. I think this is the state's final and best offer.
That's correct. That's the state's Final offer.
So I'm not going to be haggling over the course of the next 4 or 5 days. It's not going to get better.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Man.
You're not gonna change your mind.
Right. I understand this. You come back Monday. And I'll give you a copy.
And I will not be a convicted felon.
That's right. She just keeps asking me the super important question. You're not going to become a convicted felon, and I'm going to announce that to the court. Thank you. If you violate, you might.
No, I'm not.
Your Honor, the score is going to go down. The state is going to, I've been over the prior score sheet with her, but the state is going to submit an amended score sheet that will reduce it based on.
It's not a downward departure.
It is not, Your Honor.
What is that?
Do you have a copy for me? I can.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to hand the court the signed copy.
Okay, thank you.
May I have just a moment with her about the score sheet? I want to make sure she understands. Your Honor, I'm approaching with I'm not approaching with the score sheet because it's to be amended, but she understands the changes. And just going to give her a copy, Your Honor, without further ado. Your Honor, under the terms of this agreement, Selena Boyd in 21 CF 557, 22 CF 429, 23 CF 2502, and 23 CF 2436 will be resolving those cases with a no contest plea and an admission on the VOP. In 21 CF 557, the VOP, she was previously adjudicated guilty, and that was to misdemeanors. She will be admitting the VOP, revoke and terminate, $100 VOP fee, $150 public defender fees, transfer monetary obligations to 22 CF 429. In 22 CF 429, there will be an adjudication of guilt to a lesser included offense, resisting officer without violence on count 1. The statutory reference is given. That's a first-degree misdemeanor. And this is what I was promised her I would emphasize on the record. Fleeing and attempting to elude would have been an adjudication of guilt mandated by statute. She's over 21, and there wouldn't have been a youthful offender way to get around that. So she's not going to become a convicted felon under this agreement because of that change. And otherwise, as charged, there will be a concurrent 11 months, 29 days probation on counts 1, 2, and 3. That's concurrent between those 3 counts, followed by a consecutive 11 months, 29 days probation on count 5, for a total of basically 2 days minus 2 years minus 2 days on the misdemeanors. There was 11 months, 29 days times 2. It's consecutive 11 months, 29 days terms.
Okay.
There will be a concurrent 6 months probation on count 4.
Concurrent with?
That's concurrent with really 1, 2, and 3, because the 6-month probation will be running from the beginning.
Okay.
And there will be Okaloosa County Jail credit for time served, and that matters because the DUI did have a 10-day mandatory minimum. There will be a victim impact panel. Excuse me, I skipped ahead. There's a $1,000 fine. There's a 50 hours community service with no buyout. There's a 5-year driver's license suspension, and on that, I reached an agreement with the state for the court's consideration, proffer a order for the hardship license if she complies with the DMV requirements. May I approach, Your Honor, with that?
Okay.
And then I'll continue with the other requirements.
I'm going to wait and sign this until after we go through the call when the court accepts the plea, but I'll sign it here in just a second.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. And continuing along, multi-offender DUI school, victim impact panel, substance abuse evaluation within 30 days with any recommended treatment to commence within 60 days, 30-day vehicle impound, 1-year ignition interlock, 30-day scram monitor, 515 court costs, $100 PD fees, and 23 CF 2436, adjudication of guilt to lesser included offense, paraphernalia on count 1, and to count 2 through 4, counts 2 through 4 as charged, which were misdemeanors. Okaloosa County Jail credit for time served, 270 court costs, 100 PD fees, and 23 CF 2502, withhold adjudication as charged. Concurrent 24 months probation. That's concurrent with misdemeanor probation. Reserve jurisdiction on restitution to court alternatives for 90 days. And there I needed to say a couple things on the record.
What does that mean? I do not understand what that means.
Right. The basically 23 CF 2502 was a grand theft charge involving the ankle monitor that she has on her right now. I think it was what kind of monitor? Was it a scram monitor?
It's a scram, and I still have it on.
Right. So we have reached out to the state attorney's office, which in turn reached out to the owner of that piece of property and said she still had it on. That's court alternatives. They haven't so far chosen to come get it, but if they're going to claim restitution, they can get with the state attorney's office and we'll hash out that restitution issue. But I will also ask probation. I don't know if probation has information on this, but is it possible that probation could take off the ankle monitor because she did?
No, sir, we cannot remove the scram monitor.
Who would remove that?
I believe that's in Escambia County.
Okay.
I'm checking with.
Okay, because she's going to be required under the agreement under 22 CF 429 to have 30 days of scram monitor, but I kind of doubt that one's still working after 2 years, but I don't know about these things. You've had it on for a long time, haven't you?
For a year.
Okay. But anyway, we tried to reserve jurisdiction on that so it would deal with the issue because standing here, we don't know how to sort this out. The state attorney's office reached out to court alternatives and didn't get a clear answer as to whether they wanted to come back and get it. And my concern is too, is that even if they come and get it, they may claim that their lost profits was part of restitution, and these issues might have to be sorted out in a restitution hearing. I don't know what their claim would be or what they'll be entitled to. 515 court costs, $100 PD fees, and the state agrees not to file on FTAs.
State in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, state's in agreement.
So, Ms. Boyd, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? You gotta pull down that mic so I can hear.
Your Honor, she's asking whispering, does this mean she goes home today? My understanding is she has a misdemeanor case, a 24 mm something that doesn't have an information. That case, as I've told her, is not being resolved. We cannot resolve it, doesn't have an information, even if the state was agreeable. The 24 mm resisting without violence case, my understanding is she comes back February 20 on that.
Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, but they can't run it concurrent with this and get credit for time served?
No, we don't have jurisdiction over there, and there's not been information. You haven't been charged formally. We don't have any authority at this point to do that, even if we wanted to. It's not that we don't want to, we can't.
Okay, one more question. So I have a bond on that. So if I bond out, but I agree to this, that means I still get to go home today, correct?
On this case, the cases that we're dealing with, you'll be able to get out today.
Okay.
If there is some other hold that you have,
No.
which is a bond, and you bond out, say you had a signature bond, you can bond out, or if it's cash, then you could deal with that separately.
Okay, thank you.
Do probation want to comment?
Your Honor, it looks like pretrial will have to take care of the screen monitor.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, but does that change anything here, Mr. Padilla?
You're talking about prospectively. Are you talking about the 30-day scram monitor that she needs, or the one she's got?
I can't imagine if part of her probation is that she has to have a scram monitor, and she goes to pretrial services, she's got one on. They're not gonna stick another one on.
Yeah, they
She's got one
probably
on her leg. They're gonna take one off or do something.
I just know GPS monitors have batteries that run out and whatever.
I agree.
Not electronics is not my specialty. So.
I mean, if you need, maybe you need, like I say, if we need further action, you can bring it back before the court. And I'll order them to take it off or something. I don't know. We'll see. Okay?
And Your Honor, whenever she does get out, if she's released today, if she could report, she has to report to 13 Kelly Avenue in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, within 24 hours of release. Is that okay?
First thing in the morning. You won't be able to do it today probably because it's not going to be enough time, or you would have a hard time. But first thing in the morning, get over there, okay?
Okay.
So you still want to proceed with this plea?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court as the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, so you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. It's a little bit complicated, right?
Did you ask them about the
Okay, you gotta pull that mic down so I can hear you.
Ma'am, Your Honor.
Boyd, do you need to look at this more?
I've explained.
I don't have any problem with you doing it. I don't want to rush you. But I'm going to be asking you some questions, and you're going to have to convince. Listen to me, ma'am. Listen. I'm going to be asking you some questions, and you're going to have to convince me of two things. One, you understand what this plea is. It's complicated. We got to go over it. And two, that you're entering into it freely and voluntarily. If you don't convince me of those two things, I'm not going to accept your plea. You're going to go back in there and deal with it later. I'm not trying to rush, but we need to follow. If you need more time to review this, tell me. Every time we keep going, you keep asking questions like maybe you don't understand. You don't understand it, or you're not sure about it. I can't accept the plea. That's my frustration. You understand? Do you understand this plea in your mind?
Yes.
Do you want to proceed with this plea?
Yes, but I had one.
Are you sure?
Your Honor, she's whispering under her breath that she has one more question. So may I?
Here, you take this. Just keep her here, and we'll go when Mr. Gates is doing some of his cases. You can go back, or
I've got to talk to male inmates, Your Honor, that have been waiting while I've been talking to her. So,
here you go.
Thank you.
If you want to do it later, I mean, whatever. We just need to. We've got a lot of cases that we're going.
I'm going to take the bill.
We'll stand over here and I'll answer your question. Thank you, Your Honor. Well, I'll see if I can sort it out.
Okay. What is it? Mr. Gates?
Yes, sir.
Why don't we do some of yours?
I will be glad to. I don't
Can
know.
you do that for me? Help me out here.
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
Okay. The next one on my list for you is Gilbert.
Your Honor, Mr. Gilbert is in DOC. We're trying to get him transported back. If we can move him to February the 20th, we've got him set for that court date.
Okay. No, leave it there. Hold on. Your compadre is bringing out his client.
I think the question's been answered repeatedly.
Okay. Come out here.
Just gonna move it right here, Your Honor.
The state's not willing to
So
do
Gilbert, what are we doing on Gilbert before the clock?
If we can just move him to the 20th, that's when we have him set for a status to see if he's been transported from DOC.
The 20th of what?
February, next week.
The 20th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's fine, Judge.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
My apologies.
That's all. No apologies. So, you're under oath, okay? I'm looking at this plea agreement, okay? And you heard your attorney state the terms of the plea agreement. It's written down here. And you've signed it. Okay, yes?
Yes.
Okay, please speak in that microphone.
Yes.
Okay? And my first question to you, did you read this plea agreement closely?
Yes.
Did you go over it in detail with your attorney?
Yes.
Now, I know you had some questions. Have you had all of your questions answered? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
This is being recorded, ma'am. You have to answer.
Yes,
this.
I'm sorry.
And you understand that by entering into this plea here today, it's a final resolution of all of your cases.
Yes.
Right? You're waiving the right to go to a trial. You can go to a trial and contest all this, but you're not doing that. You're saying, I don't want to do that. I'll waive those rights. I want to resolve based upon this agreement here today.
Yes.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable doing that? You believe that's in your best interest to do that? You're clear?
Yes, because it's the best offer that they're going to offer me.
Okay. Very good. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept your plea agreement here today. And on 21 CF 5557, that's the VOP. You were previously adjudicated guilty, but you did admit the VOP. We're going to revoke and terminate. There's some fees and costs that will continue, and they'll be attached to the other case, which is 22 CF 429. In that one, there's an adjudication of guilt to the lesser included offense of resisting arrest. That's a misdemeanor on count 1. And you'll have concurrent 1129, basically 1 year of probation on counts 1, 2, and 3. All concurrent. So those are all, that's 1 year. And then there's another year consecutive added to it, so you got 2 years of probation, right?
I have a question.
No.
Sorry.
Don't ask a question. Let me ask the question, and then you can, and then count 5. This is too complicated if you break in. You gotta just listen. And then 6 months probation on count 4. You get credit for time served. There's fines, community service, or other things that are contained in it because this is a DUI. DUI school, 30-day scram, court costs, etc. All those things you went over with your attorney, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what's your question?
Is it going to be misdemeanor probation?
Your Honor, this will be supervised by state probation.
It's going to be state probation because you got, only one person's going to, state probation will be, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then in 23 CF 2436, there's an adjudication of guilt in counts 1, 2 through 4, you'll get credit for time served. There's court costs and fees. 23 CF 2502, withhold discharge, concurrent, 24 months. So in this one, you got 24 more months. So it's a total, you basically have 24, you have 2 years of probation. There's a lot of different cases. Some of them are running concurrent with one another. Reserve jurisdiction on court alternatives for 90 days. That's dealing with that scram monitor issue, and then you've got court costs and fees. State will not agree, not file, agrees not to file on failures to appear. Okay. Anything else? Okay. And the court, now that we've accepted this, the court's signing the order that Mr. Medina gave me dealing with the motor vehicle that she can get a driver's license possible.
You gotta go see him for prints. Good luck. Do you want to take this, Selena?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, man. So make sure to know where to report. Does she have to speak to her?
I'm going to talk to her.
Okay.
Mr. Gates.
Oh. Yeah.
Mr. Gates, I just want to say to you after what we've gone through, the 500 cases in the last 2 days, I'm pleased to see that you still have a smile on your face. All this stuff that we're going through.
Your Honor, I just received word from my office that Ms. Boyd may have raised her left hand when she swore to tell the truth.
She did raise her left hand. Does that mean that
we're just finding humor in the small places?
I just wanted to make sure you weren't raising some arcane law that says that it's invalid.
No, Your Honor, that would actually be Mr. Medina's
I did notice that.
arena.
I figured I'd just proceed forward. Okay.
However you want to call it, Your Honor, I am prepared to go.
Gillespie. Just go right down. Our inmates.
Your Honor, this is Attorney Alex Gillespie before the court in 23 CF 187. He and I discussed the potential plea. If we could bring him back on docket day, my anticipation is we'll have a resolution. It does require a sex offender designation, so I want to make sure that I go over in detail with him what the plea agreement is going to require.
Very good. The court will continue this till docket day. It's just 2:19 for a plea.
Thank you.
Next is Davion Graham.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Davion Graham before the court in 23 CF 2794. He also has 23 CF 1561. It's a VOP set for tomorrow at an arraignment. If the court will go ahead and see if Mr. Graham would be okay appointing me to that case, I'd like to address both cases today.
Mr. Graham, in that the new VOP, the violation of probation, the new case, you also have a right to have an attorney. And one can be appointed if you cannot afford one. Do you wish to appoint the public defender so Mr. Gates can represent you on that case?
Go ahead.
Okay. The court will appoint the public defender, which will be Mr. Gates.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are in the process of getting Mr. Graham screened for the Keaton program. Did you? Did you get an answer?
She said she'll see you.
Okay. I was going to set him for next month, but if we get screening today, then I'm inclined to bring him back on Monday for an answer in both cases.
Fine with me.
All right, Monday.
We'll continue until docket day, which is 2:17. Hopefully there'll be a clear continue.
The court said 2:17, which is Saturday. I don't plan on being here, but
I'm seeing if you're listening.
it's a juvenile. I don't think you get juvenile up here.
Grant?
Juvenile.
Your Honor.
What's that?
Grant's a juvenile, he's not up there yet.
Okay, we'll skip over Grant. go to Hernandez Soto.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Hernandez Soto before the court. First, if I can ask the court to continue case 23 CF 1232. We've got depositions scheduled in his case for April the 30th.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and continue, even though it's before the deposition, to April 10th, just to make sure we're still on track.
This is Mr.
And Your Honor, the other issue with Mr. Hernandez Soto is he was recently picked up on a misdemeanor case that was no pros. I spoke with the state about that. And because that case was no pros, it was the sole basis for the bond revocation. They've agreed to reinstate his bond if Mr. Hernandez agrees to modifying that bond. The monetary conditions are all going to go back in play. There was signature and ROR. The added conditions are going to be he'll be placed on pretrial services with weekly AA/NA meetings pending the resolution of his case. I have an order if I can approach for the court. I did let the
State reviewed the order and okay?
That's correct, Judge.
Very good. Court will grant the order, the unopposed oral motion to modify the defendant's bond, basically. Back to the original condition with a few others added.
Yes, Your Honor. And given that it's likely he'll be out, if we can put him on the April 8th docket.
Very good. We'll continue that until April 8th, not April 10th, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Next is Andrew Hunter.
This is Mr. Hunter. The state and I discussed a potential resolution in his case. If we can bring Mr. Hunter back for docket day, I'm hoping the state will get me an offer or confirm our conversation on an offer.
Very good. We'll come back for play or continue on docket day 2/19, which is Monday.
All right, yes, sir.
Next is Matthew James.
Notice Mr. James coming before the court. I actually was unaware he was in custody until yesterday. He apparently has another case. It's a 24 case. I don't have the case number on that. If Madam Clerk could help me out on that. But I do know it's scheduled for March the 14th plea day.
Numbers 24 CF 334.
And if I think I've already been appointed to that 24 CF case, correct, Madam Clerk? Okay. If we can
make a plea on that case.
Yes, well, what I'd like to do, Your Honor, if we can, is bring these cases on March 14th and see if maybe we can have a resolution for all three cases on that point.
So we'll just keep the 334 on the arraignment.
Yes, Your Honor. The offer we got from the state
track
was.
the other case with it.
Yes, Your Honor. It was a probation offer, and I was hoping we might be able to get a global deal on the 14th. It's with Mrs. Giardina.
314.
James, Matthew James.
So we're coming back on 314 now.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. All right. Thank you.
Come see you again, okay?
Next is
Friday.
Timothy
All right.
Johnson.
We're coming back on March the 14th.
This way, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, this is Mr. Johnson. I actually have a plea agreement signed for Mr. Johnson. The state has asked if we can bring him back on Monday to enter the plea. They have to comply with Marcy's law before we can enter the plea.
Just a day, Monday, we put your plan, okay?
So we're going to come back Monday?
Yes, Your Honor. My anticipation state will have complied with Marcy's law by then, and we can enter a plea for probation at that point.
That's correct, Judge.
Very good. We'll come back 2/19 for a plea.
I'll come see you Friday, Mr. Johnson.
Next is Isaiah Moore.
Your Honor, Mr. Moore is currently in DOC under a 30-year prison sentence. I'm waiting to hear back from him. I don't want to transport him and forfeit gain time without him understanding where we're at. So we can do 410 for him, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll continue this to 410.
Yes, Your Honor.
Matthew Peters.
Yes, Your Honor. This is Mr. Peters coming up. I got word Monday that Ms. Sandler had been assigned Mr. Peters' case, so shift from Ms. Sharpless to Ms. Sandler. She's asked if we could bring him back on Monday for a plea continue so that she can kind of get an idea of where we're at in the case and let the court know then.
That's correct, Your Honor. I spoke with Ms. Sandler also, and that was her intention for this case.
Very good. We'll come back on docket day for plea or continue. That's next Monday, 2/19.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay.
Desa Riley.
Yeah, this is Mr. Riley before the court. We do have a plea agreement to be filed in Mr. Riley's case. It was a bit of a delay, but we were able to get everything resolved between then and now. If I may approach, Your Honor. The state will have to file a score sheet later, Your Honor. Mr. Riley will probably score less than what the suspended sentence shows, but the state's agreed to give him some credit, which is why we're agreeing to admit the violation before the court.
Very good. Would you please announce the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Riley will be admitting the violation in 15 CF 2626. He's previously adjudicated guilty. We're going to revoke and terminate his probation, sentence to 10 years in the Department of Corrections with credit for all time served. Previous credit will include any time spent in DOC. Also, the state's agreed to give jail credit towards a 10-year DOC sentence for the time defendant spent in Escambia County Jail. The defendant was being held on a warrant for this case. The defendant was housed in Escambia County Jail from December 13, 2021 to July 13, 2022 for a total of 212 days, from October 25th, 2022 to October 28th, 2022 for a total of 3 days, and from February 24th, 2023 to January 4th, 2024 for a total of 314 days. The total amount of additional credit on top of what he has in our county jail plus DOC will be 529 days, $100 cost of prosecution, $150 public defender fee. Mr. Riley would ask for 24 months from his release date to pay those outstanding fees. No probation follow.
That's correct, Judge. I should also put on the record that the state has complied with Marcy's law. We've spoken with the deceased mother, and she was in agreement with this plea.
Very good. Mr. Riley, would you please raise your right hand, sir?
Yes, sir.
You swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you heard your attorney, put your hand down. Heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. I see those same terms are contained in this written plea agreement that you've signed. My first question is, did you read this closely?
Correct, that is, Your Honor.
Okay. And you go over it in detail with your attorney, make sure you had all your legal questions answered?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. This is important. Included in this agreement, you're waiving a number of legal rights by entering into this plea agreement here today. You're waiving the right to go to a trial, to contest this, to confront witnesses, to make the state prove their case. Okay, you're waiving all that so you can have a final resolution of that here today. Is that what you want to do?
This is what I want to do, what my lawyer just read to you, Your Honor.
Okay. Everything you just read, that's what you're agreeing to, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you want to do? You believe it's in your best interest to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you have had all your legal questions answered by Mr. Gates about this?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept this plea agreement. The defendant was previously adjudicated guilty. The court is revoking and terminating probation and sentencing the defendant to 10 years Department of Corrections with credit for all time served. Now, there's a number of things that Mr. Gates read that's contained in this, okay? All the calculations for the credit for time served, etc. So you'll get credit for time served as is contained in this written agreement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've gone over with him, make sure you understand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. And, of course, there's always the fees and costs that are contained in here. And you'll have 24 months from the date of release to pay the outstanding court costs. Do you have any questions concerning, you've gone over the calculation with the credit for time served that's contained in here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, just want to make sure that this kind of tricky calculation, I just want you to make sure that you've gone over it, that you understand it, and that's what you want to do. We good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions?
Not at all.
Thank you very much.
When you get your EOS date, if there's an issue, shoot me
And
there,
I'll
and I'll
ask
get it fixed, okay?
the state
I know,
to
sometimes
provide
they
the
will see.
score sheet.
The only thing
And you're okay with the score sheet?
Yes, Your Honor. The only thing, if we can have the court orally announce, including previous time spent in DOC, I want to make sure that that's real clear.
There you go.
Because DOC gets real funky about whether it's on the record or not.
Very good. Very good.
Judge,
The credit for time served will specifically include any time spent in DOC. Okay?
That's a big chunk. Thank you, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you.
Judge, I'll get that score sheet to you. I'm making a note.
Thank you for that. Get out of here. Yes, sir.
Danielle Tankersley.
Ms.
Let's get all the
Tankersley.
females done.
Your Honor, Ms. Tankersley is in DOC custody. I like Mr. Moore and waiting to hear back from her before I transport her. I don't like them losing game time if I can help it.
Continued at 410.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think that's all of yours, Mr. Gates.
I do have another one that should have been addressed, Your Honor.
Okay.
Jonathan Freeman.
Is that not on the docket?
It is on the docket, Your Honor. He is in custody.
Do you by any chance know what number?
23 CF25.
No, I know, but-
He should have been numbered.
Well, what's the last name again?
I have Freeman. I have it as
Freeman.
88, Your Honor.
Number 88. Okay, it's all right, but it's not on my docket. What is the case number? And Freeman is the last name?
Yes, Your Honor. Jonathan Freeman, 23 CF2554.
I don't have it on there, but that's okay. You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll fall on sword on this one. I forgot to get him added to the docket. I didn't have them fix it when I came out. I did speak with booking, and they're going to have him. They've already added him to the docket for tomorrow morning. It's a probation plea, so I'd like to get him tomorrow morning to get him taken care of.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll continue until tomorrow.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He's offered to do.
Okay, can we find Mr. Medina?
Yes, Your Honor. I know it's almost 3. We could take the break, and I'll run and grab him real quick. The court will be fine.
That's fine. We'll do that.
All rise.
He just needs to, he can set it for document. Sound good?
He's up.
If he wants, if not, he might.
We just got him up here a few minutes ago.
Okay. I don't know what he wants to do, but if he's gonna try to play it, he has to plead to the score.
Gotcha. We're taking a 5-minute break and then we'll have Brandon. No, we'll see him start again.
Hey, y'all, I think that's my last one.
Well, I'm done too, but I'm gonna stay.
His focus is done, she finished off hers. Hey, Rachel, you're done with all your cases today.
Emma.
Okay, cool. I was just figuring out that, you know.
That was so quick.
No, I didn't handle that.
It's 7 right now.
Yes. Right there. Yeah, you can go either way, that way or that way.
Yes, I
Either way.
just sent you an email because I was sitting here, so I figured, but you know, it's not right now. Just like.
I'm making sure that there's BMP stuff done.
Oh, you have one left?
Yes, but it's, with Taylor, so.
Okay, I'm heading out. I'll send you an email for tomorrow.
I was gonna say.
When's the framing get continued to?
Tomorrow morning.
Steve has one piece of just standing out for.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rachel.
One last.
Yeah, so just tell me you were done.
Then I'm
Get
done.
ready for tomorrow.
No, we do not.
I'm sure the judge
No, we
plays
do
it
not
on
actually.
a
She,
regular basis, 'cause I'm reading search files.
it's hard with two kids, plus her birthday was yesterday.
No.
We don't really like going out on Valentine's
That's
Day.
why I'm sitting
It's
there making faces.
usually overpriced and crowded. So neither one of us wants to decide where we get fast food and or takeout.
Yeah. Did I answer that? So if this is really weird, no one has an email me.
We went out to eat at Snoopy's last night, Crestview, but Samuel's does a dinner theater movie mystery dinner, and we're doing that.
Secretaries know if it's group email, please tell me.
We'll see, I haven't done it
Yeah.
before.
But
I've
I
heard it's
did
fun,
not
so.
see any of that. So then I did a little search for it. Because I knew this morning when I came in here, I went through everything that was unread. But none of that was there.
So-
Right. So I felt it enough. And
So,
then I started going back.
I obviously know I was born the day before Valentine's Day, so her rule is I have to get very specific flowers in certain ways.
Oh, Lord. But the bitch.
But I go to Publix, I used to go to get the expensive stuff, but Publix and flowers are just as nice. And not as expensive.
It's probably
What's up, bud?
just, yeah, it's not like it's, but it's like, you know, when they keep talking about, hey, we need to go paper, it seems like.
Why I'm not saying anything.
It's all Maple Street.
Hi, Lori.
Yeah, it kept locking up.
It like completely went.
And I hit like, I hit like a button or something, and it totally locked it before the.
Oh, what's going on?
Yeah, okay.
Anyone else in this
Lori
room?
is texting Officer Bex, Lori Morales is texting Officer Bex and saying that it's.
I mean, it's only the reason why she wasn't.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just gonna go ahead and make the start just for fun and see what it messes up. I was telling Noah the doing my
See, that was the battle.
boot camps and positions. Yeah, not only were they informative, but they were well presented. You know, just like there's one I was like.
Oh, the one on the.
It's a new suit. It's not for me because so it's like all the ones that close up. I went in.
So I'll have one too, because mine ends, well, mine closes out April 30th.
Yeah, so I think you will have it, and I went and just did it.
I just did the first one I had to do.
I just went in and did it, because I figured what if they decide on the last day of the month that I do have to do it, I didn't want to do it. So I went ahead and did it. So, and I was like, I think the last time was actually just very good. I thought things he learned from his life.
Was that the Florida Supreme Court Justice?
I think that might have been.
She was fairly young.
No, I didn't watch the one. Yeah, I watched the most of it. Yeah. Professional responsibility. Requirement. Really? So I was thinking, like, 250 shorts.
I feel like you have to take the MPRE twice.
Georgia.
I got you. I was able, it's different timing, but I was able to transfer my MPRE to Florida. I took it in New York. As long as you hit Florida's minimum, then you can transfer it over. And New York's minimum is higher anyway, so you still have to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good, actually. Yeah, and of course, it's, yeah, for automatically accepts. It has to be at a minimum. But Florida's the first time anyways. And then I think they did, states, yeah, would take it because they felt like that bar was somehow part of it.
They don't do it with the New York bar, because the bar is really in New York, it's the uniform bars. And, you know, I mean, regardless, Florida, you always are gonna have to take the Florida portion.
Right.
So, I mean, at least people could transfer there. That's one thing. I think at High School on the second half, MBE, they could transfer that over. And they still have to take, obviously, they have to take the Florida.
Is the multi-state, when did you take that one?
2020.
So the multi-state. It's all multi-state, so that's still like all essay, I mean, all,
Just discover.
yes,
What happened?
Well, I'm gonna do a plea to the bench, so I know him again for guidelines. Can you call on?
I think Joseph had it, I think he left instructions for Joseph.
Yeah, that's
Was he willing to do that?
No, I didn't discuss it, but he wants my client to do that. That was offered, was guidelines.
Yes.
He would budge.
Right, that's what he said.
So the client's wanting to plea to the bench for guidelines cap.
Okay.
No cap on supervision. So that's the question, can we do that?
Are you gonna set it off?
Well, it would have to be
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
judge
wondering.
and sentence, so it would be set for sentencing. But we could just bring it back on Monday if you need to check with Noah, maybe reach him by phone.
So he wants to plead to the bench?
Let's put the bench for
It would be,
sentencing.
basically, we would enter a plea to the bench agreement that said cap of 24 point, whatever the guidelines on DOC.
This is McKinnon, right?
That's true.
Yes, ma'am. Rudolph McKinnon.
Plead to bench and sentencing hearing.
Plea to the bench with a cap of 24 point, whatever.
24.45?
Yeah. On DOC, no cap on supervision. What's that? He's really trying to get drug treatment, he's doing that program in the jail. Well, but his scores, because of the two charges, because he has so many prior points, like no checks. He scores 60.4 or something, and the drugs in your probation statute, 60 or less. So.
No, I know you don't want.
Which way is it?
Okay. It's no big deal to bring that.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I said. I said if you want to discuss, bring it back.
Yeah. We're on Court TV still? What's that? What's up with that?
She's taking your spot, Steve. Who traded you?
I was telling a story.
A war story?
That was the one, I thought she was in it. I don't think she was. Have they given you just third degree
Felonies,
in this
whatever they
division?
are.
Yeah. Well, since about late October, all the third degrees that have been coming in pretty much. And then if they're attached to another case of theirs that's like a second degree, then they still have that case.
So if it's just a third degree felony, not attached to, well, if it's attached to a third degree VOP.
Then I take the VOP.
Okay. Okay. Please look at that one.
Because it's
Okay, she was like, this is supposed to be okay. I can understand.
Oh, yeah. Make your kids work out.
Yes.
Take it out.
All I can think of, Steve, all I can think of is.
Good stuff, man.
It's all you can my head right now.
Just takes it out into this.
As I told you, you can't laugh, and what's the point of being
That's why we just said.
Do you know if we're going to add any more to tomorrow's docket for any of the inmates?
Do we know what?
If we're going to add any more to tomorrow's docket for the inmates, because I'm going to send another updated docket out and say no from the cases today that we had.
I don't plan to bring anybody back tomorrow. I think basically anybody from here, we can come back Monday, not tomorrow.
No, I had one.
Oh, you have one?
I had one. He wasn't transported today. He's got an ID and it's a probation officer. Tell him you wouldn't be there for him either?
She's asking if we have any more of those.
Because I put her in that.
No, not that one. There were some other ones from this year.
Oh, that I can.
Oh, look at it.
just for that one particular case and all.
Steve. Good news for you is you've got Steve, Jason, Steve, and
Right. I'm gonna do all of
usually that one.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Or whatever it was.
You're handling that one.
I mean, 'cause I heard.
Tomorrow morning, I have two.
I know, I heard Judge
One of them I told them
Ketchel. So it makes sense that
denial.
she would be the one.
This is gonna be a plea, this is the one he just went up for. It's a probation officer. So probation
Talking
officer
about, it makes
is
sense.
mental health and anger management. Can I send it, should I send it to an email? Just
Yeah, just send it to me.
Thanks. So I figured there's no point in me being here for 2 cases.
I mean, do you have anything else in there?
I have a pre-trial attorney, but it's for continuance.
Yeah, I thought that was mine until I looked. That's what it was.
Yeah, Mr. Bryant, yeah.
Yeah, I heard my afternoon just went to the fire.
I thought same like it was. I tried to do so many trials. So for DV batteries.
For this, she was a victim too. I was about to say, I was just looking at that at lunch.
This is a
Let's put it this way.
So,
I'll be 65. That's all I'm saying.
So we have Landon sitting here because Steve's retired.
No, they're not planning. I'm just saying.
Their rules are really
Don't look at me, guys.
You know that yourself.
Steve, yeah. Steve's been my most consistent division partner since I've been in this division.
What a joy. We used to have lunch, it's all sorts of fun stuff. We just don't let see it, it's just been.
no, she was Tara yesterday.
I saw the note.
And then Tara emailed. Because I told Tara I had to.
Judge Ketchel's on his way back to the courtroom.
You see, it's.
And you want a grant first, right?
So I just want
Get the juvenile out. Oh, I don't know if he's in there.
What's that?
I don't know if he's in there.
I don't think he is yet, but he should be here in a few minutes.
Just give me out of 5:15.
Grant, no grant.
Yeah, when are they something like that? If you think it's relevant for it, I mean,
What?
Copy, thank you.
No, that's not for pre-trial detention.
just for pre-trial.
Yeah, but going forward, I'm saying.
So it's okay.
Or you can do like Cole did, he had so many calls stuff on it.
Yeah, the intro. That's an excess.
Yeah, I would probably have to say that about 100 times.
You know what I mean? That's what I would say. Yeah, but the corroboration would be the injuries that we saw. So then that would.
All rise. Court is back in session.
Please be seated.
I thought it was done, Your Honor, but they pulled me back.
Okay, what you got?
Jaden Grant, it's our juvenile, Your Honor.
Okay.
If I could have a moment with Mr. Grant, Your Honor.
You're fine.
Your Honor, this is Jaden Grant before the court, 23 CF. 2 co-defendants and depositions are scheduled for April the 4th. I've also sent the state a counteroffer that may resolve the case as well.
That's correct, Your
State
Honor.
okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor, no objection.
Court will grant continuance until April 10th, 9 a.m.
I think.
Very good. Before we start with Mr. Medina's cases, I need Mr. Medina. Sir? Would you approach some?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Basso or anybody from the state? So we're going to start with Mr. Medina's cases. And the first one I have for Mr. Medina is Harry Andrews.
Andrews? I've got to get my box.
Okay.
Hello. Your Honor, Steve Medina with Harry Lamar Andrews in 23 CF 1922. We filed in reciprocal discovery under a confidentiality notice a report by Dr. Stephen Zeman Jr., PhD, that was a competency evaluation. I do not know if the court has had an opportunity to review that because it was not court ordered, but we went ahead and filed it. And Dr. Zeman's finding was not competent to proceed. And when I got the report, I did discuss that with the state because it's the second time that Dr. Zeman has evaluated Mr. Andrews. And there's going to be a question about whether the forensic officer with the court, Mr. John Barnes, will have to play a role, or is restoration not possible, which is one of the things that Dr. Zeman talks about. But I think the first order of business is to determine if he's competent to proceed, and Dr. Zeman says no.
Has the state reviewed this? Whose case is this?
What was the last name, Mr. Mayor?
Andrews, this is Harry Andrews.
Your Honor, this is my case. I'm sorry, I missed the last name. No, Your Honor, I haven't had time to review it. I don't know if we got it in reciprocal discovery or.
Yeah, that's the way we filed it. Yeah. February 8th, reciprocal discovery, but I understand we've been in court or about in court every waking moment, it seems. Or in my case,
It does feel that way.
In my case, at the jail.
Yeah, this is something we ought not put off. If we came back tomorrow, would you be able to get a chance? I can look at it, you can look at it.
Yes, Your Honor.
It wouldn't be a long hearing tomorrow. I know
No, Your Honor.
we
Certainly,
have a number of hearings tomorrow, but
I think we can accomplish that tomorrow, Your Honor. I think that'd be good.
Your Honor, the only other thing I could advise the court of is that I think it's hearsay, but basically I understand that a case that Mr. Andrews had not too long ago in Escambia County was null prost due to similar type circumstances, but I don't know what the state's position is going to be. It's rather complex, and I understand the state needs to be able to think it over carefully. So.
well, let's come back tomorrow at least to deal with the issue of competency and even though it's a heavy docket.
9 a.m., Your Honor?
9 a.m.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Just saying. Asher, Justin Asher.
Your Honor, Steve Medina for Justin D. Asher, 23 CF 2681. I met with Mr. Asher briefly yesterday, and he advised me that he has retained a private lawyer, and he may have information, but has your lawyer been contracted?
He's coming up either, he said he'd be there. He was coming up to the jail when I was getting picked up for here, so he's bringing contract paperwork up there. It's James Owens.
Your Honor, my understanding is, just to complete the picture, is that Mr. Asher has the public defender assigned in 23 CF 2681. More recently has picked up 24 CF 248, which is set for felony plea on March 14, 2024. The court may wish to continue this case to run along with that case on March 14th in order to allow Mr. Owens to enter an appearance and preserve that arraignment date.
That'd be fine. That's not a bad idea. So we'll continue. The 248 is already scheduled on March 14th, and we'll just track this case, on this docket 23 CF 2681 for that one as well. So
Your Honor,
we'll meet with your new attorney and figure out where we're going.
Could it be on the 130 docket even though it's a new law?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'm asking Steve Medina with Aaron L. Austin, 23 CF 2364. Does the court need a docket number? I apologize, I don't have my dockets.
23 CF 2364.
Yes, sir.
Where are we at?
Your Honor, I'm asking to have Mr. Austin return on docket day for a plea or continue.
Okay. Very good. State?
Yes, that's what we discussed, Your Honor.
So we'll come back on 219 at 9 o'clock.
We're hoping to resolve it then. Thank you.
Very good. Francis Ball.
Ball. Taylor, you've got an agreement from Mr. Ball. Thanks, Francis. Just hold on to that for your copy, okay? Thank you. Are you ready? It's the same as that. Your Honor, may I approach? And I am approaching with a signed plea and sentence agreement for Mr. Ball that is without a score sheet because under this agreement, it's a plea to the bench agreement, Your Honor. The defendant would be pleading nolo contendere, pleading to the bench with a cap of 12.6 months concurrent DOC with credit for all time served. And he's pleading to the bench as charged. There's no cap on supervision. I will advise the court.
What is it concurrent with? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Judge. It's that basically there's two charges.
One of them's a misdemeanor, though, isn't it?
Right.
So you can't have.
Well, that's true. It's 12.6 months DOC would be the max then. Yeah. And I guess I could say concurrent 1129.
Correct.
On count 2.
Correct.
So it would be 12.6 months on DOC for count 1. I apologize, Judge.
That's all right.
Concurrent 1129 on count 2.
Sorry. Thank you.
What?
While that's going on, Your Honor, if I can be excused as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I could also be excused. See you tomorrow.
May be excused.
OCJ, who's going to jail on count 2. But you can't use one in 12.6. That's confirmed. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Ball, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea, and we'll go over it, just make sure we understand it. And I see that you've signed the written plea agreement. Did you read this closely and go over it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Make sure you understand, had all your legal questions answered?
Yes, sir.
Big thing is you're waiving the right to go to a trial. This will be a final adjudication of this case. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
But you're waiving the right to go to trial and make the state prove their case and all that. You're waiving that. Believe this is in your best interest?
Yes, sir.
And you have had all your legal questions answered?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept the plea agreement. It's going to be a plea to the bench. This is a little bit different. This is, you're pleading to the underlying charge, but the sentencing, you're pleading to the bench. In other words, you're letting the court make that decision after argument. So your attorney's going to be able to argue, whatever he wants to argue, the reason why he thinks you shouldn't get any jail sentence or whatever, I assume, something like that. But the defense, the state, can't argue more than the 12.6. Now, that little discussion about the concurrent, okay, on a misdemeanor, which is one of your 2 charges, was a misdemeanor.
Yes, sir.
The maximum sentence of that is only 1 year.
Yes, sir.
So 1129. Okay? So I couldn't sentence you to 12.6 is concurrent.
Yes,
So basically your sentence is 12.6 months max. That's the maximum sentence that I can give. And that would be the maximum on the misdemeanor, possession of paraphernalia, would only be 1 year.
Yes,
Just a little bit less. Okay. You understand all that? Mr. Medina.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but I just wanted, as I was announcing it, I didn't get to, but the no cap on supervision, and I've discussed with Mr. Ball, he's gotten a Phoenix House acceptance. He really wants to go get their treatment as an option. He also interviewed with Keaton, I think it was yesterday. Today.
And Project Hope.
And Project Hope. So he's anticipating presenting at least 2 and maybe 3 options for the court's consideration.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll listen to all of them. The state will make their case, and your attorney will have an opportunity to represent you and argue your case as well. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
And Your Honor, it'll get set for sentencing to be determined by working with Your Honor's assistant.
Correct.
Okay.
Are we waiving a PSI?
Yes, I think we wrote waive pre-sentence report, Your Honor.
Okay. Very
Thank
good.
you. I'm looking for my docket because I know Mr. Beecham has multiple case numbers and I need to.
You want me to read them out?
Your Honor, Steve Medina with Cedric T. Beecham in docket 118. That's 20 CF 856, 20 CF 1938, 22 CF 2923. And Your Honor, at this time, I believe that we need to have Mr. Beecham return on docket day for plea or trial. There are 2 matters I wanted to just put on the record. One is a moving part, is that plea or trial is contingent that we need to be able to take a witness, Mr. Sidaway, who's an FDLE breathalyzer expert, and we were anticipating hopefully doing that by phone this Friday.
I have emailed him to see if we can get that done.
So if for some reason we can't get that done on Friday, then we may have to ask for a change to plea or continue, but we're planning that we're ready for trial. I just simply couldn't get it done before now, Your Honor.
Well, let's try and get it done, and we'll come back on docket day. If not, we'll address it then.
And the second matter I just wanted to put on the record, I would ask for the state to hold open its offer. I did tell Mr. Beecham about the state's revised offer, and Mr. Beecham wanted me to counteroffer 2 years DOC followed by 3 years with a 3-year suspended sentence. Was that it?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if the court, just basically I would ask the state to consider that, and we'll bring them back on docket day and see where we are. If the state could hold open its offer.
Your Honor, the state's 5-year offer will remain open until docket day. I don't think the state's offer is going to change. I told Mr. Medina that 5 years was my best and final offer, so.
She did, and I did advise him of that, but he had a right to make a response, so that was his response. Thank you.
I understand.
Thank you.
See you on the 19th February next month.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bell Betts, Antonio Bell Betts.
Your Honor, Steve Medina with Mr. Antonio M. Bell Betts, docket number 119, 19 CF 1261 and 23 CF 483. Your Honor, we have set, I think it's 14 depositions, maybe 13 for April, and I'm asking to continue this to the next pretrial, and I don't think the state objects.
The state does not object, Your
Very good.
Honor.
The court will continue this until April 10th.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Eric Berkowitz.
Yes, sir. Berkowitz?
Your Honor, Steve Medina with Eric Stewart Berkowitz, number 129 on the docket, or excuse me, 120 on the docket. We have an agreement for Mr. Berkowitz that we've been over. He's signing. And I believe the state is going to be doing a revised score sheet because under this agreement, one of the charges is being dismissed, Your Honor.
I will owe the court a score sheet on this, I apologize.
And I apologize, my copies are kind of disappearing on me. I'm going to make a photocopy here and approach with the agreement, and the state will submit a score sheet, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, under the terms of the agreement, Mr. Berkowitz in 22 CF 1408 will be entering a no contest plea based on the following agreement. Count 1 is going to be null prost. Count 2 is going to be plea as charged. That's PAC on the agreement form. Count 3 is also plea as charged. There will be an adjudication of guilt, time served, followed by 1 year community control, followed by 2 years standard probation. And I apologize, this has a lot of acronyms that I don't normally use, so I'm going to announce the words. No contact with the victims except for doing the letter of apology. He has to do a letter of apology, which is LOA. No trespass at Trading Post Pawn Shop, 100 Mary Esther Boulevard, Mary Esther, Florida, 32569. And also no trespass at Pier 1 Condominiums, 210 Pelham Road, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Take an anti-theft class, 24 hours community service, no file on the, an agreement not to file on the FTA. And that is the agreement, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's the state's agreement also.
Very good. Would you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you heard your attorney state the terms of the plea agreement,
That's correct.
and everybody has signed the plea agreement except for Mr. Medina.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Thank you.
So you heard your attorney state the terms of the plea agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
And those terms of the plea agreement are in the written plea agreement. Have you read that thing closely?
Yes, sir, I have.
Have you gone over it in detail with your attorney, make sure you have all your legal questions answered?
Yes, sir, I have.
Importantly, this plea agreement is the final resolution of all these charges. You're waiving the right to go to a trial, force the state to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, all those constitutional rights we have. You're waiving those so you can get a final resolution. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
I believe that's in your best interest.
Yes, sir.
Had all your legal questions answered?
That's correct, sir.
Based upon that, the court will accept the plea here today, and the state is null processing. You're in agreement on it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And null processing count 1, and as to count 2, there'll be an adjudication of guilt. There'll be time served, followed by 1 year community control, followed by 2 years probation. That's a total of 3 years, right?
Yes, sir.
No contact with the victims. We need to put the victims' names in here.
I think it's, I think the victims are, their names are there. Those are the 2 no trespass locations, Your Honor.
Okay. And no trespass at the trading post, pawn shop, and the Pier 1 condominiums. So you know where those are, right?
Yes, sir. They're my former employers.
Okay. You definitely need to stay away from that. Anti-theft course, and state agrees not to file on the FDS. Okay, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. One thing I would say to you, I know everybody wants to get out of jail, except probation, community control, house arrest. Okay, you're in this ain't the end, it's the beginning. Pay attention to this so you can stay out of that orange jumpsuit. You're gonna have to focus on it. You have to get up every morning, what I gotta do. Obviously, community control, you can go to work, et cetera, like that, but.
It'll be easy. My wife, she's pretty mean.
Well, I'm sure she is after, having to deal with this. I'm sure she's gonna be pretty straight with you, but, you'll be lucky to have somebody like that that stands by you. So, anyway, but just pay attention to this. One of the things that I always say, people, sounds kind of cute, but make your probation officer your new best friend.
Yes, sir.
And by that I mean stay in good contact with them. Don't make them chase you down. In case there's a bump along the road, they'll work with you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr.
Just very briefly, this was a product of negotiation. First off, the current prosecutor agreed to honor this offer that was a prior prosecutor's. I did ask her to make a couple of other changes in his favor, such as drop the community control, drop count 2, based on a statute of limitations theory. The state wasn't willing to agree to that, but he decided it's in his best interest to go ahead and take the deal. He does believe it'll allow him to go back to work and taking care of his family. So that's his decision in his best interest. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
This way, sir. Barry is next.
Barry.
I'll read that number.
Barry?
Mr. Medina. 23 CF 1975.
Your Honor, Steve Medina with Kenneth Berry in 23 CF 1975. I would ask to have him return on docket day for a plea or continue. The state has given him a couple of options, and he has asked me to look at a couple of things, so we may be able to resolve things.
Very good. We'll come back on 219, plea or continue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bethune.
Enough. Bethune.
Your Honor, Steve Medina with Original L. Bethune, 23 CF 2580, 23 CF 2581, and 23 CF 2582. I'm sorry, Judge, I was trying to find the docket number. It's docket number 122.
Yes, sir.
And at this time, Your Honor, I'm asking to continue to next cycle. This is the first time up. There's substantial discovery that he needs to go over and a lot of work to be done on the cases.
It's the first time up.
Yes, sir.
Grant continues till April 10th, 9 a.m.
And he does have a family member present, and she's been here his fiance's been here all day, so just letting him know that. Thank you.
We appreciate your support, man.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, sir. Next, Bowden. Bowden?
Your Honor, Steve Medina with Davin and Omar Bowden, docket 123, case 23 CF 1998.
So, Mr. Bowden, I think it's, how can I say this? You've obviously corresponded with the court in about every different way you can. I want to explain a few things to you so you understand how we're proceeding. My job here, I'm only trying to do one thing, and that's I got to follow the rules. I don't favor the state. I don't favor the defense. My job is to stay neutral. Actually, a lot of my job is to protect the rights of the defendant. In this case, there was a motion to determine competency, to determine whether you are competent to be able to stand trial. They took that, and once that is filed, the court can't take any action. Okay, so all those documents you filed go right in the trash. They can't even be considered because you're still represented. I know you want him off the case, and you'll probably, we're gonna have a hearing tomorrow to allow you to do that. But I gotta ask you a few questions before we let him off. Okay? I want you to understand what's been happening. Okay? We don't just ignore these pleadings. I wish I'd have gotten in before and said, look, don't waste your time doing this. Once you have an attorney, when you have an attorney and you file something, it's, they're going to use a legal term. Nullity means it's might as well not even, doesn't even register. Not even considered, it's not looked at, it's not going into the file there, and we'll look at it somewhere. It's done. It's thrown away. Okay? That's what happens. So, you're now here. And the court, the state has reviewed the competency evaluation, as well as Mr. Medina, and any objection to deeming Mr. Bowden competent to proceed? No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so the court is found that Mr. Bowden is competent to proceed. And tomorrow, we're going to have a hearing, a Nelson hearing, a Feretta hearing. That's going to determine whether you can fire your attorney, okay, and represent yourself. We're going to have that. Once that happens, if you don't have an attorney, then you file something, and we'll
yeah, I understand that, but under my constitutional rights, forever, I can represent myself.
Okay.
I do know the Sixth Amendment. This is not my first time.
Mr. Bowden,
this ain't my first time.
I didn't have to explain all this to you.
I understand.
But I did explain it to you.
I understand.
And we're not violating any of your constitutional rights. We're following the rules, and that's what I'm doing. And like I say, we're gonna go through, I'm gonna ask you some questions, and you do have the right to fire your attorney. And tomorrow, I suspect that's what you'll do. That's fine, but I'm gonna still follow the rules, because I gotta make sure you understand what that means, okay? I'm obligated to do that. Why? To protect your rights, okay? So,
Yeah, but I know
we'll
what
come
I'm
back
asking.
tomorrow,
All
and we'll
right.
deal with that, and we'll figure out where we're going from there, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And he's on already for tomorrow.
Bradley? Yes, sir.
And this is case number 218 CF 1025 and 218 CF 1646.
Yes, Your Honor. And Steve Medina with Deonte. How do you say it? Deonte. How do you say your middle name? Nike Bradby. I apologize. He also has, Your Honor, 21 CF 2615 that ran over to the next page on my docket.
Right. Okay.
And we're asking to return on docket day. The state originally had a proposal for a resolution. He has made a counteroffer. It's possible we'll work things out. I do also want the court to just have a little bit of status information that basically there was an original NGI notice that we gave based on Dr. McDonald's recommendation, her evaluation. The state then had a psychiatrist in Pensacola evaluate and came to a contrary decision. And then most recently, an NGI evaluation has been done by Dr. Zeman, and that was with the order of the court, as was the second eval. And I met with Mr. Bradby, so we may not have to pursue that route because he is competent, and if we can work things out, he may choose to work things out with a deal with the state on Monday, Your Honor.
So are we looking at a plea or continue on Monday?
Plea or continue on Monday, Your Honor.
Very good.
Thank you. And I'm going to be sharing that report with the state under a confidentiality filing, Your Honor. Right.
Has he been deemed competent? Or
Yes, he went to Florida State Hospital and was restored.
Okay.
So there's no current question about competency.
Okay.
You're Bradshaw, right? Right. Your Honor, this is Malik Ramir Bradshaw, 126 on the docket. And his cases are 21 CF 2374, 23 CF 1031, 23 CF 2658, and 23 CF 2660. I'm asking to continue his case to the next pretrial, Your Honor.
No objection.
This is a relatively new case. Actually, a couple of these cases, it may be first time up, so we've got some brand new cases. So the court will grant the continuance till April 10th at 9 a.m.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Tyrone Brantley.
Brantley is next, yes, sir. Brantley? To the podium, sir.
Yeah.
This is case number 23 CF 1992.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Steve Medina with Tyrone Brantley, I would ask to return docket day for a plea or continue. We've sent a proposal for the state's consideration.
Very good. The court will continue this matter until docket day, which is 2/19 next Monday, for a plea or continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay. Thank you.
Mrs. Brown.
You want me to read all the case numbers, or you?
I'll be happy to do it, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Steve Medina with Michael Anthony Harrison Brown, docket number 129. Your Honor, the case numbers are 23 CF 2562, 23 CF 2563, 23 CF 2564, 23 CF 2639, 23 CF 2698, 23 CF 438, 23 CF 1228, 23 CF 1673, 23 CF 2566, 23 CF 2567, 23 CF 2569, 23 CF 2571, 23 CF 2572. Your Honor, we do need discovery in various of his cases, and he also would ask for a global score sheet so that he can complete an application process for Phoenix House. We certainly have no commitment with regards to Phoenix House. The state has said this is an its minus DOC case, but I certainly hope that he can get that acceptance and know whether that is a good option.
Your Honor, I do know that discovery is incoming. It did take a while with the amount of cases, but I should have already, Mr. Medina should already have a score sheet that encompasses all the cases. I will check on that and make sure that gets sent to him.
Thank you.
Right now, if he doesn't have it.
Do you know what that global offer was? Or is that hard to pull up?
It's going to take me a second to pull up.
So we're continuing until 4:10?
Yes, Your Honor.
Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Next is Brundage.
And just so he knows, Mr. Brown, I'll be providing you discovery as soon as I get it, okay? And that'll include that score sheet.
Brundage.
This is case number 23 CF 2202.
Mr. Medina,
Yes, I'm just trying to find this.
the plea agreement?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. But I should have copies too. Beg your pardon, Your Honor. I hate to do this to probation, but I can't find my copies. I'm just going to have to make a copy with my phone. They may turn up, but I do need to find them because that's what the score sheet is. May I have your indulgence, Your Honor, for a minute?
Take your time, Mr. Medina. It's been a long day.
Thomas Lee Brundage Jr., right? Yes, sir. Okay, good. Just so you have a copy in the front page. Your Honor, Mr. Brundage signed the agreement when I went over it with him yesterday. All parties have signed. I'm approaching with that and the score sheet. Thank you. Your Honor, under the terms of the agreement in 23 CF 2202 and 24 CF 1, Mr. Brundage will be pleading no contest with an adjudication of guilt as charged, 24 months concurrent probation on felonies, time served on misdemeanors. He will be required to do the batterers intervention program, substance abuse evaluation within 30 days, with any recommended treatment to commence within 60 days, $946.13 restitution to Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, no violent contact with Kaylee Irby, 48 hours community service, maintain gainful employment or complete 3 applications per week. And I put an asterisk, unless he can show proof of disability. He represents to me he is disabled, Your Honor, but he'll have to show proof on that requirement. 615 court costs in 24 CF1, 967 court costs in 23 CF 2202, 250 total PD fees, waive cost of supervision, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is in agreement. I would also like to add that the state has been in contact with the victim and she had requested a no violent contact.
Very good. Mr. Brunage, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Brunage, you heard the attorney state the terms of the plea agreement. And I also see you've got the score sheet. Is the defense in agreement on the score sheet?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. You heard the terms of the plea agreement. Those terms are contained in the written plea agreement, and which I assume you've signed. You have. You've signed that.
Yes,
so have you read the plea agreement closely?
Yes, sir.
And have you gone over it in detail with your attorney? Make sure you had all your legal questions answered.
Yes, sir.
Importantly, you're waiving a lot of valuable legal rights. Just want to make sure you understand that,
Yes, sir.
and that you're comfortable with it. You're waiving the right to go to a trial, force the state to prove their case. You have the right to confront witnesses. All those are your constitutional rights. But you're waiving those in order to get a final resolution of this case. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You believe that's in your best interest? And you have had all your legal questions answered by your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Based upon that testimony, the court will accept your plea agreement. In this case, the way it's structured, you have 2 felonies and 2 misdemeanors.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So, there'll be an adjudication of guilt on all counts, all 4 counts. There's 2 cases, but there's 4 counts.
Yes, sir.
Okay? 2 felonies, 2 misdemeanors.
Yes, sir.
Because the way it's worded here it relates to that.
Yes, sir.
So the court's ordering you or sentencing you to 24 months probation on each of the 2 felonies.
Yes, sir.
They'll run concurrent. They'll run at the same time. They're not
Yes, sir.
stacked on top of one another.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as it relates to the misdemeanors, the other 2 things, you'll get credit for time served. So you're done with those.
Yes, sir.
As a condition of the probation, however, there are a number of other things that you got to do that are contained in here. The batter's intervention program, and that's not insignificant. That's, you know, like a 6-month program or something, or longer.
All I do is go to work and back home, Your Honor.
What's that?
All I can do is go to work and back home.
Okay. Well, but the batter's intervention program, that's a program you got to go to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand.
Hopefully, so you don't repeat any of this. And you've got to get a substance abuse evaluation, follow any recommendations, and then you've got, of course, the restitution, community service, and have you been, do you have Social Security disability at this time? Or
Yes, sir.
you say you're disabled?
I'm disability. I get a check every month of the first.
From who? What agency? VA or Social Security?
Social Security.
Okay, so you're Social Security.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. So, and we will waive the cost of supervision. And there's, of course, you can have contact with Miss Irby. You can have no violent contact. So what this does, man, anything that happens again, you're going to be up against it. You're
Yes,
going to
sir.
be violating probation.
Yes, sir.
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, he will need to report to probation, and
First thing
you're
in the
going to talk to
morning.
him, right, sir? Yes, sir. Thank you.
They'll probably give you some paperwork on that.
Thank you.
Mr. Cooper is next. Tyler Bunch.
No, Your Honor, Bunch, he did a waiver on Monday. He was out of custody and appeared. He was back again today, and we told him to go. That's in 23 CF 2241. I thought we had already continued this to the next pretrial for out of custody. Is that April 8th?
Correct.
It was just a kind of an oversight. I'm not sure why it was on this docket too.
That's all right. Got continue to 4 April.
Thank you.
Okay. Cooper.
Your Honor, this next is Malik L. Cooper, 133 in 22 CF 2212 and 23 CF 553. Your Honor, this is a complicated situation, and I need to inform the court of a couple things. Number one is historical. Number two is where I am trying to work with Mr. Cooper to represent him. Number one is that we have had an initial evaluation that was done by Dr. Zeman deeming that Mr. Cooper was not competent to proceed. There was a second evaluation that was, I can't remember the expert, but he determined that Mr. Cooper was competent to proceed and was, I'll use the term malingering, but basically underperforming purposefully in the various evaluations. Dr. McDonald did a third evaluation, and her report that we recently received was that, as with the second expert, she felt that he was competent, and again, it's my terminology, but malingering. However, going on to my second point, when I tried to meet with Mr. Cooper yesterday, I was not able to get him to either understand or want to understand what I was trying to explain to him about the state's 24 months probation offer. He was acting incompetent. Whether he is not or not, first off, I guess where we are is we do need a determination that he is competent, which I guess based on Dr. McDonald's report being more or less the tiebreaker, I don't have any objection, and I respect all the professionals who've done these evaluations. I don't think the state objects to her report, and he probably needs to be determined competent.
What's the state's position as
Your Honor, the state agrees with Dr. McDonald's second evaluation, stipulates to the report, and agrees with the findings.
And, and it believes that he's competent?
Yes, Your Honor.
And based upon these reports, the reason why we get these and we rely on these professionals is they know what they're doing. So based upon the two reports that deem the defendant competent, the court will rule that the defendant is competent to proceed.
Your Honor, at this point in time, when I do need to put on the record, like I said, is I wasn't able to successfully go through the agreement to where he would be able to plead it out. He told me that he wanted to stay in jail. At this point in time, I hope that we can make some progress by docket day. I would ask to put him on docket day for plea or continue. I'll try to talk to him one more time, but basically we may end up having a trial or trials next cycle in cases where the state is offering him 24 months probation that would get him out of jail if that's what he wants to do, but I'm not here to pressure people.
Okay, well, let's see where we go a little bit. I may at some point inquire, but it may be a little premature. Let's see what you can do, and then we'll proceed.
You said I was gonna get a house, but then when I got on there,
He's saying that I was going to get him housing, and I certainly don't have any role in getting housing. I think there was some discussion if he could get out of jail, could he get housing somewhere? That was a question mark, but I don't have the ability to.
Was he homeless when he was picked up?
he know this.
I think so, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. You'll come back Monday for plea or continue. Is that okay, or do you?
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable.
I just hate for him to stay in jail if that's.
I agree.
But you basically said I was gonna leave today.
Your Honor, I don't know if he wants to address the court.
You want to address the court?
I mean, I can. I'm here now. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you good.
Okay. Medina said I was gonna get a house, and then he's saying I can't get a house. He signed me up.
In order, when you say get out,
Uh huh.
okay,
Uh huh.
that's, in order to get out, you gotta have a plea agreement.
Okay.
And you gotta go over the terms of the plea agreement. The plea agreement is 24 months probation, that's what I understand, that's kind of the.
Well, Medina said I got 11 more days. Yeah, and I was gonna leave today.
I say, if you want to, I believe there is a plea agreement that's out there that would allow you to get out today. You want to get out?
Uh huh.
Well, why don't we,
I can talk to him if the court will allow him to go back to holding after the other the other inmates. I'll talk to him and
we'll
be able to
try.
work it out.
We'll see what we can do to try and get a plea agreement done if you want to, but you got to listen closely to your attorney and figure out what you're doing. Okay?
I've been here, but he's not explaining it well to me. He's just been talking and just been talking and just been talking.
Try and work on it.
He's not working with me. He's just talking and not trying to listen.
We'll try again in a minute.
Try again.
Thank you.
This way, Mr. Cooper. He tried to seduce me. He tried to seduce me.
Your Honor, Steve Medina with Garrett Boyd Krim. Mr. Krim is 134 on the docket, 23 CF 1422. Your Honor, I would ask for Mr. Krim to return on docket day for plea or continue. I do not think there's any objection from the state.
No, Your Honor, there's not.
Very good. We'll come back on 219, plea or continue. Dorsey.
You want to screen? Well, he's going to come tomorrow. Your Honor, Steve Medina with William Brian Dorsey, 135. He is set for a motion hearing tomorrow in February 15 at 9 a.m. I've asked the state to consider.
What type of motion?
I'm sorry, it's a motion to dismiss count 1, which was the felony DUI. It was a set on the 15-minute calendar because I did not anticipate it was going to be a complicated matter. Basically, it was
going to be a complicated matter, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, we can't resolve the case today for misdemeanors as he's hoping to do. He can come in tomorrow and we can discuss. If it's not going to be hearable, if that's a word tomorrow, we'll have to reschedule it. But I was trying to.
We might be able to move it to the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Let's just come and see where we go in the morning and go from there.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
We do have a little bit of time in the afternoon, just by chance. One of the cases, one of the hearings, the lengthier hearings.
Thank you, Your Honor. So we'll be back tomorrow at 9, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
Here, I mean.
Yes, I'll do my best.
Next is McKinnon. McKinnon?
Your Honor, Mr. Rudolph McKinnon Jr. is before the court, docket 137, case 23 CF 1782. I need to give him a brief bit of information, Your Honor.
No, that's it. He has a, no, I'm sorry. Make that $100.
Your Honor, at this time, I would ask to continue Mr. McKinnon to next cycle. We're trying to get him evaluated for Keaton and Phoenix House. He's doing very well in the faith-based dorm at the jail. He's really been transformed and is a trainer and mentor. We were trying to work it out today. I don't think we're going to work it out because the state's position is very clear, and it's a DOC offer that he doesn't want to accept.
Okay, so we'll come back on April 10th. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay.
All right. McPherson next. McPherson?
Your Honor, Steve Medina with Javante L. McPherson, 23 CF 2584, docket 138. I did try to meet with him at the jail. He was confused because he thought Scott Klein from Division 2 had it, but there's been a motion to transfer division because of one or more co-defendants already being in Division 1. And Your Honor, I'm going to need discovery in this case. And it's a case that will not be resolved this cycle. I would ask to continue to April 10 pretrial.
State.
Your Honor, no objection.
Okay.
Without objection, the court will continue this until April 10th. This is a new case.
I think that's all we got.
Your Honor, can I go and talk to Mr. Cooper?
Who is handling Cooper?
Me, Your Honor.
Would you approach?
Yes, Your Honor.